That new Blade movie got canceled this week, and honestly, it's pretty disappointing. I think it's so disheartening because the bar was so low. I talk about this all the time. There are a lot of movies that get so caught up in the narrative, they distract from the reason we were watching the movie to begin with. I'll use King Kong as an example. I think it was Skull Island. It's one of those movies where the main draw is the spectacle of two monsters clashing, and there's not really a whole lot that matters outside of that. That is not an excuse to say that we can't have a compelling narrative, that we can't have any emotional scenes, or that all criticism goes out the window because that's not the focus of the movie. When I reminisce on Blade 1 and 2 and its greatness and its standout moments, it has nothing to do with that blood god ritual or what's-his-face's dad and his cold. The new Blade only needed to be badass. It doesn't need to be 3 hours long, it doesn't need to be so integrated into the MCU, and I'm not saying we couldn't get a deeper characterization of Blade, but I don't know if anyone's really looking for that. We just needed an hour of Wesley Snipes on screen being a badass, and there's not really much you can do to mess that up. The same goes for King Kong. Why did it take 30 minutes for them to begin to approach the island? Whenever I watch a movie, the more compelling the action is as far as the draw that gets you to watch the movie, the less important the narrative is. You look at Blade 2 and it's got everything I'm looking for. By the 10-minute mark, we're on the third fight of the movie. That fight directly leads into the discovery of Whistler, and then we are blessed with an undisputed top contender for the best quietly emotional scene you've ever seen in your life.
I see you kill a motherfucker right now.
Get out. In the morning, those blinds are going to open. Whether you're cured or not.
Listen to me, Blade. You're gonna have to finish me off. No. Give me the goddamn gun. Now walk away.
In a single move, we got some action, we got Whistler back, we got some emotion, and this immediately kickstarts into a direct contrast between Daryl and Whistler.
Where's my arc brother?
Whistler, nice to meet you, man. I heard a lot about you.
Gave it a more aggressive exhaust profile ramping. Burn the damn thing out before your next oil change.
They're using magnesium flares.
They got your security system scoped out.
This isn't just Blade reuniting with a friend. They immediately show us that Whistler is more discerning than Daryl, he seems more knowledgeable, and he's more concerned for Blade's safety than him.
Sounds like a plan.
What do you really think?
They're gonna fuck us the first chance they get.
In the few minutes that Whistler is reintroduced into the story, he's being consistently built up, while Daryl is shown to be incompetent, he runs his mouth, and he's steady trying to push suspicion onto Whistler.
Look, I know he's your friend and all, but I think you should watch him. Nobody goes cold turkey from the thirst in just one night.
A lot of movies, you could cut out a good third of the writing, and it would not really change much for me. This movie gives us the action we wanted to see first, and it didn't require them to waste any time. The point I'm trying to make is, these movies need to stay in their lane, stick to their strong suits, and just give us what we came for. So when we carry this action-first structure over to King Kong, the way it should have began is they're already approaching the island. They already have their motivations, and the exposition and the dialogue, we don't really care about. That should have come from within the action while they were already exploring the island. So let's bring it back over to Sinners. They're both black vampiric movies, but they're on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. The action in Sinners was not that good, and I really don't care. Sinners does a great job of sticking to its strong suits, its characterization, and its storytelling. One of my favorite aspects of the movie was getting a better understanding of the twins and their reputation. I feel like on some level they try to frame it like they're just some out of control niggas that's just got the whole town shook, but it always boils down to respect.
I didn't mean nothing by it, just the way we talk down here.
Oh, brother!
They can seem confrontational, but they're really not starting shit. The Grand Wizard called them boys. Smoke was the one getting robbed at the store and shortchanged at the bar. Delroy was the one that was talking to Sammy crazy, and it was Smoke that had enough discernment to stop Remick at the door.
Y'all clan?
I love Blade, but it just simply isn't capable of that sinner's level of characterization. Blade could save a woman because she reminds him of his mother, but he's just never gonna compare to Smoke teaching the daughter he never had how to advocate for herself. It really doesn't feel like it, but by the time Stack died, the movie was halfway over. We spent an hour on just dialogue and world building in a vampire movie, and it really paid off. Between the twins, Preacher Boy, Annie, Delta Slim, I damn near felt like I knew these people. I don't believe I've ever seen a movie that got me so invested in their characters and their stories as individuals before they just switched genres and started killing them off. It felt like nobody was really expendable. With action movies, I often see them begin by showcasing the normality our protagonists will soon be stripped away from, and that's fair. The narrative significance needs to come from somewhere. I just think that oftentimes it starts off so boring, or they're not as efficient with the pacing as they should be. That very may well be more a reflection on myself rather than the movie, and that's fine. I just had these two vampire movies on the mind, and I wanted to explore why I love them so much while being entirely different. I take it pretty far too with my criticism of the pacing. When it's my turn to pick a movie and I know I'm only there for the fighting, I'll just skip 40 minutes into it. I'm sure it's so well written and the exposition is so magnificent, but I just don't give a fuck. Can we please get on with the movie? I just have to reiterate once more that creating an action movie does not excuse you from writing a cohesive, palatable story. But if that's not what we're here for, we can't be wasting 25 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes putting so much focus on these side stories that come secondary to the hook that got you in the theater. I just spent however long giving Blade to its flowers, but that movie gets incredibly slow after the highlights I gave you. I give that movie a pass because it catered to my interests first. There's a lot more standing and talking than this movie had any right to have, but within all that, Blade's still cold as shit. One last thing I want to mention, everything I said goes out the window if I saw the trailer. I watch everything blind, and none of this works if I spend 2/3 of the movie actively anticipating the vampire action. Because I saw it blind, I got to just enjoy the movie for what it was and be captivated by the progression of the narrative. I'm certain I'd still appreciate it on rewatch, but I would have applied the same criticisms that I gave to King Kong. Because I saw it blind, I didn't preemptively get in the way of this movie's great characterization. Allowing the movie that space to unravel gave me the opportunity to really enjoy what otherwise would have been a much less significant scene. Delroy brings so much life to his characters. One of my favorite moments isn't even written in the script. It's the physicality that he brings to his characters that makes them so much more natural and real.
What'd y'all do with the money?
I drank it.